Hi class, this is Mr. Tan, and we are working in, what are we working in today?
3.3.
3.3, which is finance in hospitality. Okay, Jessica, sit up please. Okay, so the question said what? Can anyone remember the question in 3.3?
Discuss the process and purpose of budget control.
Good. So the question says, discuss, key word here. What does discuss mean?
Talk about.
Good. Discuss means to talk about. The process and purpose of budgetary control. So I know we've gone through this before, so we're just recapping and summarizing here. And so you did very well earlier. So how are we going to answer this question? What's the first thing that you think we should be talking about?
I think we need to define budget first.
Yeah, because before we go into what budgetary control is, we really first need to understand what a budget is. So, in layman's terms, what would we say a budget is, do you think?
The planned financial statement for
Yes.
a defined period of time.
Good. So, we're talking about financing, we're talking about figures. So, a planned financial objective over a specific period of time, which can include planned revenues that are going to be coming in, all the expenses that are going to be going out, and any other assets, liabilities, expenditure, which would be in your budget. Okay? And that would be over a clearly defined period of time. And that budget would be, or would work towards, in a bigger overall budget, in terms of a master budget, in terms of overall aims and objectives for that company. So when we're looking at budgetary control, what are we saying in terms of budgetary control? Why do we need budgetary control?
Control how your finances are.
Good, Mary. So to control the finances of all the company, the whole organisation. But what type of budgets do you think you could have in a company? Or what departments do you think you might have?
Finance.
You've got the finance department, marketing department, sales department, research and development department, IT department, administration department. Yeah. So you've got all these different departments in a company, and each of those different departments is going to have a budget for their department in terms of either money coming in or money going out. For the majority of it, it's going to be money going out, isn't it? IT department, are they going to be bringing money into the company? No, they're not really going to be bringing, unless they're selling IT equipment or it's an IT business where they're bringing in sales. But if it's an IT department supporting other functions, then they're really it's going to be an expenditure. And what type of expenditure do you think they might have in that budget?
IT.
Yes.
For hardware.
Hardware,
Software.
software, staff.
Stuff.
Yeah, staff costs, how many staff you have. What other costs might be in there? Within that, you might have admin costs within the IT department. Okay.
Marketing company.
Yeah, marketing. Sorry, how? We're talking about IT.
Should just wait up.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you've got all these different departments in this organisation who are going to be given, who are going to have a budget. Okay, and the chief executive of the whole company is going to want to see a budget for each department, and then, as we saw in the diagram, you might have a budget officer and then a committee team for the budget. And this committee team for the budget might look at all the budgets and might look at how people are doing. So the first thing we need to talk about is obviously what a budget is. The next thing we need to talk about is budgetary control, the need for budgetary control, the purpose. So talk about what budgetary control is in terms of an organisation and many different departments, yes? And then we need to talk about the purpose of budgets, don't we? So what is the purpose of budgets?
Plan.
Good. What do we need budgets for?
Planning.
Planning. Why planning? Planning what? Give me an example.
Cost. And to estimated sales.
So, I mean, we need budgets to say, well, if we're saying that for curtain poles, that the biggest sales are going to be in December, how far ahead do we need to plan? If the biggest sales are in December and we are buying our stock from China, when does it need to be in our warehouse for us to sell it in for December? When does it need to be in our warehouse?
November. Should be
Sorry?
November.
No?
Probably about 3 to 6 months before.
Okay, how long does it take for the cargo to come across
From China.
from China?
It's about 6 weeks or something.
It could take 2 months. It could be held up in the when it gets to the port.
Report, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it could.
it should be there by November. So obviously
No,
October.
Când vi våken dogana.
where does it need to be in our warehouse?
I think probably a couple, 3 to 6 months before, because you need
Yes.
to start out a lot of
Yes,
stuff
you need to
before.
start selling beforehand. So if it's December, it's going to be
Advertise and
sold, and it needs to be in the retail stores by November. So when does it need to be? When do the stores need to be buying it from us?
September?
Yes, from September. So if they're buying it from you in September, when do you need it in your warehouse? By August.
Yeah,
So if it takes
3 to 6 months.
6 weeks to 8 weeks to come across by ship and could be held up in the port, when do you need to order it by?
Minimum 3 months before.
So looking at probably about June.
Yes. So you need to order it by June. Do you see about planning?
Yeah.
So if you're planning for December sales, so when do you need to have your new products finalized by?
Planning.
There you go. See, here's the thing. If you want to have sales and you want to have new finials that go on the curtain poles and new products, then you need to have your finished designs by about February. The designs need to have gone to the manufacturers. You need to have got the samples back, and then they would have got it, and then you would have placed your order to get your order then in place by May, June, and then to have the stock, which takes 6 to 8 weeks, by August. And then you've got it in by August to get your sales for December. Do you understand? So when we talk about planning, you need to have your sales budgets there. For instance, how much expenditure do you need? When do you need to do your marketing? So what do we need first? We need research and development in January. The previous December, January, into designers who are going to design product and new prototypes for the venues and new product designs. And you need to be coming up before in December, prior December, January of the new financial year, to be looking at concepts going to your manufacturers to design it. Do you see how far ahead you're planning? Then you need to allocate appropriate resources for designers to design that. Okay, but you need to have the funds ready in January, February to be able to do this. When you're placing your order, when are you placing your order then? In when? When are you placing your order? May, June, yes? May, June time. When do you pay for the order? So you may pay for it part up front, and then when it's delivered to the port. And so when it's delivered to the port? In about August. Yeah, if it's delivered in August, then you need to have money ready to be paying them in August. So when it says about planning, then you need to plan this. Do you understand why you need to plan it? And if you know what activities or what your objectives are, you have to know what your objectives are. So if you know what your objectives are, then you plan backwards to know that in August you're going to have 10 new products which are going to come, and you need to make that payment when that ship comes to port, and you've already had to pay the final installment for those products. Yes? But that money needs to be available in August. Because if you don't have that money available in August, that means what? They're not going to release the goods, are they? If they don't release the goods, then you don't get it in August, and then all your time frames are out. Then you could miss December. And if you miss December, then you lose all those sales, because no one wants those curtain poles after December. Everyone wants it before. because they've got guests and they've got family and eating, and they want their rooms and the interior and decor to be superb. Understand? Okay, so when we're talking about planning, you need to plan the activities. When are you doing marketing? What expenditure do you have? You have to plan this in. What month in the financial year? So what month are you thinking of going on holiday? If you're thinking of going on holiday when? August, September? So you went to New York, didn't you?
Yes.
So you would need to plan how much money you needed. But you would need to plan beforehand. You can't just say the week before, oh, I need £1,000 to go to New York. Unless you've got a rich husband, which is no problem. Okay, so what else? We need resource allocation. Another purpose of the budgetary control is, what do I mean by resource allocation?
Which can be.
The budgetary control allows you to allocate the appropriate resources at the time that you need. Okay, so if you were, say, a high street store, of the whole year, look this way, the whole year, which is your busiest time?
For the summer.
December, Christmas time. December is the busiest time. So what might you